Hello. It's been a minute for sure. Nice to see you all. I'm doing fantastic. I'm taking 5 classes. They're all kicking my ass, and I'm working, and I'm sick. So, what better time to make a YouTube video than now? But seriously, it's been a long time, and thank you all for being so patient and waiting for me to come around. I have been wanting to make a video for a while. I just literally didn't have the time. I haven't had any time to game either. I don't know if you guys know that I game. I don't think I've ever mentioned that, but I do. I game a lot, and I haven't been able to at all because I'm just so busy, just too busy. I will never ever take 5 classes while working again. It's just too much. Anyway, today I'm going to do kind of like a combo video, and let me like move over here. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a combo video today. The first half is just gonna be me answering some questions about I got some additional pooping questions from Mike. Shout out to Mike for always coming up with these questions for me to answer. And also Derek, which is someone who's also been on the channel for a while, has asked to hear like about my travels. I know you asked specifically to make a video about what countries, like all the countries I've been to and what states I've been to, but I just realized that I had a story that I kind of wanted to tell, like a specific story, travel story. So I was hoping it's okay that I make that instead. I don't know what possessed me to want to tell this. I don't usually tell people this story, but I realized it might help some people out potentially. So yeah, I decided to tell it. But we're about to talk about some good shit here. Good shit. So Mike, I got your questions here, and I'm about to answer them. So first one, what caused your fear of pooping in public? That is a really interesting question. And I have to be honest, I don't know. I think there's a lot of social conditioning that goes on when people are really really young. I think one of the things we learn is that farts are gross and pooping is gross. And I think a lot of girls in particular just don't want to be gross. We don't want to be associated with anything that's considered gross. Um, for example, like, body hair is considered gross. So most of us get rid of like our armpit hair, or we take off our pubic hair and things like that. I think it's along the same lines. Has anyone ever made fun of or teased you for pooping? No. I can't imagine that I would have ever let someone hear that I was pooping, except maybe my boyfriend. Is there anyone you feel safe enough to poop around or in front of? Have you ever pooped in front of anyone? So this, I think I kind of answered this. I do have a boyfriend, and he has heard me poop, but it's never my choice. And if I can, I always kick him out and tell him not to come in. It's only been like a handful of times that he's heard or seen that. Have you ever pooped in a bathroom with no doors on the stalls, or a unisex bathroom? I have pooped in a unisex bathroom, um, but a bathroom with no doors? What do you mean by that? Like a urinal? I have peed in a urinal before. um, Pooping in one? Absolutely not. No, I don't think that I have, and I don't think I would want to either. Have you? And then the last one. What embarrasses you more about pooping? The noise or smell or something else? Hmm. Obviously, I think the noise and smell is probably, yeah, the only thing that I would be embarrassed about. And I think I've talked about this before, but I do have a way to eliminate the noise when I go. It's a little bit wasteful, but if you put some toilet paper on the surface of the water, it will break the sound a little bit, so you can poop more confidently. Smell, there's nothing you can really do about it. But if you're like out, like if you're in public and you are pooping and it starts smelling, if there's like several people in the bathroom, then they're not even gonna know that it's you. How could they know that? So that I don't care. If it's like a bathroom with several stalls, I don't care. But if it's a unisex bathroom and there's just one toilet, then I'm really, really self-conscious about the smell at that time. Yeah. So I think that's everything. I hope that answered your question, and I hope that the questions sufficed. I know you've been waiting a little while for them, so I hope that it was okay. If you have any more questions, anyone, feel free to let me know. Now, I want to tell you guys a story. This is the story about, well, first let me just tell you why I was in Japan in the first place. So the first time I ever went abroad was to Japan. I think I was 19 years old. I'm 24 now. And I did a very short 3-week language and culture exchange program thing. So I flew over. It was my first plane ride ever. It was great. Everything was great. I met some friends. The dorming was fun. We went on some cool trips. I was learning, not so much actually. I don't know at what point in the trip that this happened. I would say maybe like halfway through the trip. So maybe like a week in. I had actually met some New Zealand friends at the university that I was at. There were a group of like 4 or 5 New Zealanders that were there on a scholarship to play sports. And so obviously they speak English, I speak English, and they were also brown like me, so we kind of like clicked really fast, and they were really cool. But I was hanging out with these boys a lot, and they were really fun. And so one day, it was a really, really hot summer day in Japan, so I was like, hey, you know, let's go get some ice cream or something. We went to 7-Eleven, got our ice creams. This is where the story starts. There was a really, really cute cashier at the counter. And I was like, yo, homeboy is like super cute. Like, I gotta like make sure that I look good. And you know, I was in the corner like, oh my gosh, I got my ice cream, and does my hair look okay? And I was really feeling this kid already. So I paid for my ice cream, and at this point my Japanese was barely conversational. Like, I could have like a mini conversation with someone. So I did talk to him, and I said like, oh, you know, hi, how are you, yada yada yada. And I said, he had long hair. His hair was like maybe down to like here-ish. And so I told him, I was like, I like your hair. It was styled really well. Sorry, I'm clicking this pen because this story makes me kind of nervous. He was really polite and really nice. And so I was like, oh wow, he's good looking, and you know, he's a good person, seemingly. I paid for my stuff, and goodbye. And then we left, and that was that. And then a couple days later, I was walking through campus, and I see him there, just like with his friends. And I didn't want to approach him because I didn't think that he would remember me anyway. And also, I should also point out, I wasn't trying to make no boyfriend that I was just gonna not see after like a week. So even though I thought he was cute, I have to let you guys know, because I think it's important for the story, that I was a virgin at this time. So there was literally no way that I was ever going to do anything with this kid. It was just, I thought that he was cute. That's it. He actually sees me too, and he calls me over, which made me really happy that he remembered me. I was kind of hoping to see him again anyway, because out of like all the kids on that campus, I thought he was the cutest. So it was like, you know? Anyway, so he called me over, and he's like, do you remember me? And I was like, yeah, like, you remember me? And he said yes, and it was great. And we were just talking a little bit. And I should also mention, whatever talking we're doing is in Japanese, because he cannot speak a lick of English, like not one word in English. So eventually, like, the conversation keeps going, and then he's like, oh, can I have your line ID? So yeah, I gave him my line ID. He gave me his. Yes, that was that. I said my goodbyes again, and then we separated. And I did not really see or hear from him again. Then, a couple days later, I had just come back. It was nighttime, and I had just come back from a day out excursion in Tokyo. But it was really dark, and the night was cool. I remember that much. I hate being outside in general, but I especially hate being outside in summer. I hate the heat. I'm a very sweaty person. I'm probably sweating right now. I think you can see. Like, I'm just super sweaty all the time. So summer heat does not mix well with me. So I prefer to do my exploring at night if possible. And there were some places on campus that I still had not seen that I wanted to see. And so I thought, it's a really nice night. Why don't I go out and explore, some areas? So I arrive at my dorm lobby, and who's in the lobby? We'll call him the Hare. The Hare is in the lobby. He sees me, I see him, we're very excited. I was like, oh my God, yo, what's up? How you been? And he's like, oh my gosh, wow, yeah, I've been good. How are you? And, et cetera, et cetera. One thing leads to another, and I end up telling him that I plan on exploring the campus. And he said, oh, cool, like, why don't I come with you? And I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. So I have to tell you guys, so that you don't get too much secondhand embarrassment from this, I was a very, very naive person at this time. As I've told you, I didn't have any sexual experience, no real experience with guys. Anyway, so we go outside, and I really wanted to see the baseball field, as I said, so we went there first. And we were just talking, just like getting to know each other. Everything was cool, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, actually there's like this hangout room that me and my friends go to a lot. Do you want to see it? And I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't care. Why not? So he took me to this, in the middle of the campus, there's like this sports complex. But the sports complex had like several rooms in it and around it. So he took me to one of those rooms. And when he opened the door, there was almost nothing in there. I remember there were some places to sit. It did look like a hangout room, but like it was very underdecorated. Like this place was super underwhelming to see. Like I figured there would be like a pool table or something in there, or like something cool to see. It was literally just like, I think there were like 2 beanbag chairs on the floor and like a TV stand. I don't even think there was a TV on it now that I think about it. I don't know. Anyway, very underwhelming. I was just like, oh. But I told him it was cool anyway. It was like, why don't you come in? And I said, okay. I know. I was like, okay. And so I just like came in, and he came in after me, and then the light bulb like switched on when he closed the door. It was like I did like a complete 180, like, oh God, actually I'm in a room with a man I don't know in here, just together. I don't know him. So as I'm thinking about this, maybe like 10 or 15 seconds has gone by. We haven't really said a whole lot. And I start paying attention to what he's doing, which I had not been. He is locking the doors, locking the windows, closing the blinds. Like, he is making this place like really, really private right off the bat. I was just like, okay, I feel like now I've realized we're on 2 different pages possibly, and I also don't know this person, so I start to feel like really, really uncomfortable. I start thinking, I'm like, how can I get out of here? Because I don't want anything to happen. Obviously, as I told you, I was a virgin, and I wasn't trying to lose my virginity in this shitty ass club room to a man that I don't know and will probably never see again after like a week. Hey, editor Sydney here. You can tell from the glasses, I guess. I actually wear these all the time, but I don't usually wear them when I film because they glare a lot, as you can see. But I just wanted to hop in real quick and say, a lot of you are going to be wondering throughout the story why I didn't just tell him straight out that I was feeling uncomfortable. And the real answer to that is I don't know. I don't know why. I think I actually did like him. I just didn't want to give him the wrong signal. So I was thinking that I could just dodge all those things without outright saying it. I just thought that I could just maneuver my way through it without anybody feeling awkward or having to confront him, because I hate confrontation, I think, more than anything in this world. And that's one of the big lessons that I learned from this, which I'll mention again at the end. But yeah, anyway, you're probably going to be wondering why I didn't vocalize myself more. And it's also, I have to also remind you guys that I did not have the vocabulary to voice myself either. So it was just a really tough thing. I know it seems like it should have been easy, but it was not easy at the time. Um, so, yeah, I hope you can keep those things in mind when you keep watching. Thank you. So, I was like, okay, how do I get out of here? And then I noticed that there was no bathroom. So, I was like, okay, why don't I ask him, to go to the bathroom, like where the bathroom is? So, that's what I did. I said, okay, can you take me to the bathroom? And he said, okay. And so we got to the bathroom. He let me out of the room, which was good, and he came out of the room, which was good. So we were at the bathroom, and I still can't believe this. I said, okay, I'll be right back. And he said, okay. And I went in the bathroom, and as I was opening the stall, I felt like someone was behind me in the women's bathroom. I felt like someone was behind me, and I turned around, and he was standing there behind me in the bathroom. And I was just like, what are you doing? And this is the women's bathroom? Why are you in here? And he was just like, oh, yeah, no, sorry. And he never actually explained why he was in there, which after that, I was just like, okay, this is a little bit intense for me. I think I have to just go home. So I was in the bathroom and I was like, okay, how do I get out of this situation? And I decided I had not a roommate, but a neighbor, I guess. This girl was from Thailand. She was really, really cool. I liked her a lot. And so I thought, okay, why don't I pretend to text her, because I didn't want to wait for her to actually answer. So I did. I went out and I pretended to receive a phone call from her. And the plot, I did make a whole plot just in case. I mean, he said he didn't know English. That could have been a lie. I don't know. So I made a plot that was like, oh, you didn't remember that we had a test tomorrow. You said you were going to study with me. Where are you? Yada, yada, yada. And so it was just me talking and pretending like I was going along with it, that I just had to go home right now. After I got off the phone, I was just like, oh my gosh, my neighbor, my classmate, she said that she needs my help studying. I told her I would study with her, and I'm late. I have to go right now. So we start heading back, and I thought I'm like, maybe I was overreacting. Like, maybe he actually didn't have any kind of intentions or anything, and maybe I was just reading too much into the situation. And as I'm thinking this, somebody grabs my hand, grabs my whole hand, and I was just like, what is going on? It was him, obviously, the hair. But I was just so confused because there was no mood. I was just standing next to him, and we were just talking about regular stuff. And then all of a sudden he just holds my hand, and I feel really uncomfortable, and I don't know how to tell him to let my hand go. And looking back, as I was thinking about how to tell him to let my hand go, we were still walking. So from his point of view, I was, I guess, okay with it, because we kept going while he was holding my hand, and I didn't actually say no. I was kind of frozen. I couldn't actually speak. My mind was running through so many things, but my body just kept moving anyway. And I started to feel a little scared because I didn't know what to do. I've never been in this situation before. And I should also mention that we were outside and it was just us, and I didn't know what would happen. So before I could even come to a conclusion on how to get this guy to stop holding my hand, he has whipped me around and is trying to kiss me now. And luckily, thank the heavens above, luckily, my reaction was very fast. I moved back, and I still remember what I said to him. I said, "彼氏じゃないよ." And then he looked at me and said, 確かに. And that's the end of the story. We had a very awkward rest of the walk back, not holding hands, which was good. And I did not really talk to him anymore after that. He did send me a line message, and I told him, I ended up telling him that it was really scary for me, and that I really wish he hadn't done that, and that I just don't really want to talk to him anymore. Um, I may have actually overreacted. I could have just told him regularly, but I was very emotional, so I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did that!" You know. Um, and so we did see each other one more time on campus, and it was just like in one of those movies where like two people who have fought, they just like pass each other, and it's like very dramatic, and like they would meet eyes, and then they just look away. You know what I mean? It was just like that. Anyway, yeah. So that was the time that I almost got in trouble in Japan. Yeah. So I guess just let me know what you want to see, and I'll see if I can make it happen. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Me again, editor Sydney. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. That story, honestly, I keep changing how I feel about it over time. Sometimes I remember it and feel like he really, really took advantage of me, and sometimes I remember it and feel like I was just too stupid, and sometimes I remember it and think that I overreacted, and sometimes I feel like I underreacted. It's a difficult story to really like choose fault, in my opinion. It might be easy to paint one of us as wrong and the other one as right, but I feel like we both made some mistakes. Um, my analysis of the situation, if you're curious, um, is basically that he wanted to experience a foreign girl. That's all I can really think of, because I had not known him any more than like a couple days when all of this happened. And to just assume that I would be okay with him like holding my hand like that and trying to kiss me and all that junk, I highly doubt that he would have done those things if I was Japanese. I really do think that. So, I don't know. I know that overseas foreign girls, or not foreign, but Western girls sometimes have a reputation for being like easy, and I can see why. I mean, that's kind of what we put out to the world. At the same time, it's never good to judge an individual based on stereotypes. That's one thing that I learned from this. Another thing that I learned is not to do anything overseas you wouldn't do at home. I wouldn't follow someone I don't know into a room at night without telling anyone where I was in my home country. So I have absolutely no idea why I thought that I should do that in Japan. I don't know. I really trusted that kid, and I did not think that it would end up the way that it did. I should also mention that um, I he could have sent me signals that I said yes to and just didn't know, because I have no idea how Japanese men like from Japan hit on girls and like show their interest in that way. I thought we were just talking. He could have sent me like all the nonverbals, and I could have consented to it nonverbally. That's possible. I'm not going to rule that out. The only thing I would say is try to make sure that you tell people with words. If you don't really know them well, try to tell people with words if you want to try something with them. And if you're too shy to do it, well, then maybe you should wait until you're more comfortable around that person. Um, Also, yeah, just try, if you can, just try not to trust people too easily either. Don't be so naive. Those are the big lessons that I learned from this story. So for other solo travelers, especially I'd say women travelers, be alert, be careful. Don't just assume the best in people. That goes for anyone. Um, always be on guard, I guess. So, but I do want to end on a positive note. That was like the only like minor blip um in my travels. The rest of it was perfect. I've been to Japan since then, obviously. Had a wonderful time. The rest of my trip was absolutely wonderful the first time. And I can't wait until I go back again. So, this was not like a something that like affected me so much that I like couldn't enjoy my life over there anymore. That's not how it is. But yeah, if you have any questions about the story or my experience there or anything, I guess just let me know and I'll be sure to answer. And I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye.